Had all the nice luxuries and toys that a kid ever needed. Changed my hair, my clothes, turned into a rock guy.
We're not saying that we're the smartest guys in the world, but our music is good. Our music is great.
On the day of April 4th, 2002, a controversial event would occur in Seattle, Washington, regarding the life of Alice in Chains frontman Layne Staley and former Alice in Chains bassist Mike Starr. Now, if you didn't already know the story of Alice in Chains frontman Layne Staley, I highly recommend you do some research yourself on the story itself. It's a very telling story, and one with unfortunate consequences. I'm going to be talking about the time Mike Starr went to Layne Staley's apartment condo in Seattle, Washington on April 4th, 2002, one of the most important days for both of them. Mike Starr and Layne Staley were really good friends, and also bandmates from the time span of 1987 to 1992, when Mike Starr was unfortunately fired from the band for certain misconduct, such as getting the band in legal trouble and overall just having disagreements with the band. However, after departing Alice in Chains, Mike Starr and Layne Staley still remained good friends, in contact with each other throughout the years following Mike's departure from the band. Now, it's no surprise that throughout his life, Layne Staley of Alice in Chains struggled with drug addiction. He would unfortunately lose that battle on April 5th, 2002, when he died approximately at the age of 34 from a combination of heroin and cocaine. And this was no surprise, as Layne Staley spent a lot of moments under the spotlight on national TV and newspaper articles. He was a very famous musician at the time and known for his drug addiction that was very widespread, as he was very open about his struggles with addiction. However, Layne's body wasn't discovered until April 19th, 2002, after no one had heard from him for 2 weeks, and the police were called in to break down his door to his Seattle apartment condo. It was apparently surrounded by drugs and drug paraphernalia. Staley was also found, and his 6'1" frame had been reduced to 86 pounds, and in his hand was a syringe loaded with another dose of heroin. Toxicology reports placed the date of his death, which was ruled as strictly accidental, at April 5th, 2002, approximately 2 weeks earlier. So, Alice in Chains had been mostly inactive since the summer of 1996, when they opened up for Kiss on a handful of dates. After this, and after losing his fiancée Demery Parrott in October 1996, he continued using drugs and got worse. He would also completely shy away from the spotlight, disappearing from most friends and family, and also barely made new music with Alice in Chains, despite a few recordings that would be featured on their future box set record. Now, before his death, it's noted that Chris Novoselic of Nirvana, Mark Lanegan of the Screaming Trees, and Mike Inez and Sean Kinney, also of Alice in Chains, tried to help Layne in the final days and moments of his life, according to different sources. Many of Layne's former buddies refused to give up on him, and would still try to see him during his reclusive years. They would try to visit Layne in his home, and they frequently called him to no avail. Chris Novoselic brought him food, hoping he could save him after losing his best friend and frontman of Nirvana, Kurt Cobain. Mark Lanegan and Mike had also went to Layne's home and banged on his door, trying to see him, but no one could get through to him often. But on the day of April 4th, 2002, on Mike Starr's birthday, Mike himself would go see Layne to hang out, and it was apparent that their relationship was strong enough that Layne trusted Mike and let him into his apartment to hang out for a while. So, Mike would end up going to Layne's condo, and the two would end up watching television on April 4th. Mike would later say, quote, "I was flipping through the channels and stumbled on the John Edwards show Crossing Over, a show that claims to communicate with his audience's late loved ones." While watching Crossing Over, Layne turned to Mike and said, quote, "Demery was here last night. I don't give a fuck if you fucking believe me or not, dude. I'm telling you, Demery was here last night." Demery Parrott's mother, Kathleen Austin, heard the story from Mike Starr after Layne Staley's death and relayed the story, and said that she believes her daughter was there that night, to be there with Layne as he's doing his transition from life to death. Now, things weren't all fun and games on April 4th, 2002, when Mike Starr and Layne Staley were hanging out. The two would inevitably end up getting in an argument over Mike Starr's use of benzodiazepines and pills, with Layne Staley claiming that, quote, "You're fucking stupid on these pills, man. You gotta get off this shit." Of course, because of Layne's use of drugs himself, Mike would respond argumentatively regarding Layne Staley's own use of heroin and cocaine, and told him that he would call 911 because of his condition. Some other accounts at this time was that John Frusciante of the Red Hot Chili Peppers visited Staley out of his Seattle condo, also in the months before his death. He claimed that Staley's mind clearly worked, but that he was a million miles away. Despite all of this, Mike Starr would end up storming out of his apartment after threatening to call 911 on his friend because of his deteriorating condition. Layne would then threaten Mike to never talk to him again if he had called 911. The two would continue arguing, and Mike would head for the door storming out, with Layne Staley stating, quote, "No, please don't leave like this, man. Not like this. It can't end like this," as Mike Starr continued to leave Layne's apartment. This would be a driving factor in Mike Starr's continuous addiction and shame and guilt following the years of Layne Staley's death, as he was said to have died the day after this event occurred. In even more mysterious circumstances, there was no drugs to be found at the scene of Layne's death, only paraphernalia, and there was some rumors going around that Mike Starr could have potentially taken the rest of Layne Staley's drug supply during his benzodiazepine-fueled high. Fast forward to the year around 2010, and Mike Starr would be featured on the show Celebrity Rehab, and would finally open up about his feelings towards the death of his best friend Layne Staley. This would occur in what would be the last year of Mike Starr's life. And I'm going to end with this. Mike Starr's true feelings towards the death of his best friend Layne Staley, and finally opening up to Layne's mother. Roll the clip.
Well, guys, thanks for coming. We're, spending time with families in a more kind of private setting to kind of focus on some of the issues that might be important as the future goes on with Mike's recovery.
So this is your chance, Mike, to bring this out a little bit with Nancy here. I know that it just stays with you in ways that we'd like to release some of that. Do you need forgiveness from Nancy? Do you need to tell her anything?
Yeah. I wish I would have called 911 that day. I wish I would have known he was dying. I wish I would have called 911. He told me that if I did, he would never talk to me again, but there's no excuses. I should have done that anyways. And I wish I wouldn't have been on benzodiazepam. I wouldn't have just walked out the door.
Did you see Layne die?
No, I didn't see Layne die. I went over to his house, and he just said, I'm sick, I'm sick, and I said he'd come back. I went home and I blacked out on benzodiazepam. I just blacked out for the whole 2 weeks. Remember, Mom, I was laying in your basement.
You said he got kind of agitated. He wanted to be alone for a while. Do you remember that?
He was agitated because I was too high. He used to get mad at me when I took him. He'd be like, "You're an idiot on these pills." And then I got mad at him, and I said, "Fine, I'll just leave." And his last words to me were, "Not like this. Don't leave like this." And I just left him sitting there. His last words to me were, "Not like this." I can't believe that. I'm so ashamed of that.
Is this the first time you let that out?
Yeah.
And you feel guilty about that, Mike? You've been carrying around all this guilt for all those years?
I'm sorry I did that, Nancy.
Mike, he could have called 911.
He would not call 911 at all. No, I know. I'm just saying, I don't know why he would not call that.
Because he was embarrassed. A beautiful man with huge talent had squandered his life and his talents, and that's not a judgment. That's just a statement of fact, and he knew that. And it's a horrible thing, but I don't blame you, and I never have.
Mike, your life couldn't be saved as a tribute to his. You could get sober.
I know.
That's what he would want.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
You know
know.
Layne would want that.
That's why I'm here.
That's right. He
He
didn't
cares
ask.
about you, and
reach
he
out
would
for
be
you.
here for you if he could.
Nice. Thank you, Nancy.
Layne would forgive you. He would say, hey, I did this, not you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
The opportunity for Mike to see Nancy and finally get her forgiveness is potentially a life-altering moment for him. I hope this will free him from the guilt he's been carrying for so many years and give him a chance for a feeling of redemption.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.